Man. Yes. I want to welcome y'all to the You Wasn't Outside podcast on the Grown Folks Podcast Network. I'm one of your hosts, not doing the most, normal ass Carl.
DJ
To my front,
Carl,
I have my man at Just Lex. Now I got my man. You want me to say your government name, or you got another name that you go by?
You gotta say his real name because he a businessman. They gotta find him.
I'm a businessman.
He's a big businessman.
I'm doing all. Because he said don't talk
he
about.
Got a lot of shit going on.
Relax, man. Let this man get it.
I stay humble.
He said,
no, that was the intro.
I just want to make sure.
Gonna get into
okay. I didn't know he was going to tell us his social security number and all that. He got a lot of stuff going
24 hours. That's
he moved 25 over here in the IRS and like, what's up, man? What you doing?
Hey,
he ain't got to deal with the IRS. He don't live here.
Actually,
I know.
He might have permanent.
I was trying to throw him off the scent.
Okay. Hey, whatever he comfortable with, we good with at that point.
All I'm saying is, I just want to know how he uses 24 hours.
Well, Justin, tell us about yourself. Tell us what you've been doing. Every time I talk to you, bro, I feel like you always got some other shit going on. You know, he just be moving, man, just all the time moving. And since we was kids. Bro, bro even didn't even go to school in this neighborhood. He got bus always moving.
Well, that probably goes to show why he's doing so well now.
Stayed out of the Southeast school systems.
And while we're sitting here doing this for free.
Bro said, don't talk to me about it.
I'm surprised he pulled
That's
up.
your third one today. What's up, man?
Sponsorship shout out.
Jonah get to you?
Huh?
Jonah get to you? Let me know.
Man. Hey, look, I'm happy where I'm at.
All right, just got to make sure.
Hey,
I'm just making sure, man. Hey, the complimentary water you've been drinking here, we're going to have to cut that down, buddy. Charging us $1 extra a month, man, running up the bill. Anyway, Justin, what's good with you, man? What's going on, bro?
What's up, boys? What's up? Anyway, thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
I've been listening to this for I swear, probably 3 months nonstop. 3 months nonstop. It's addicting, honestly, to listen to you guys.
Appreciate that, man.
I keep working out, lifting, trying to lift. I'm middle of a bench press, and you guys keep cracking jokes, and I'm dropping the press on my chest, man. I can't get the pressure out sometimes. It's just too funny, but I'm glad to see you guys. Do we want to talk about context? Like how?
Who am I to y'all?
I mean, we can do whatever, man. We good.
I mean, all right. So
we gave you the boundaries.
Hell,
it's only one boundary you really got.
Yeah, man, that's funny.
And even then, I'll run with it if you really want to do it.
Nah, we ain't doing that. Hell no, we definitely not doing that.
I actually think you guys are the longest active connections I've had for we go back to 25 years.
Shit, don't put that pressure on me.
25 years.
That's a long time, man.
And that's longer than Jonathan.
I'm not going. Nah.
Yeah, it is.
It's not.
Why you mean? He's been here longer than John was.
No, he hasn't.
And you since you were 9.
I've known Jonathan since I was 5.
Oh. All right,
I'm
my
mad,
bad. Shit,
Correct you. All I'm saying is,
it's not the correction; it was the enthusiasm. That's your man. My
know,
bad,
right?
dog. The connection was fine. The enthusiasm.
I'm not going. When he pulled up, though, I said, "Damn." I'm not gonna lie. When you pulled up, I said, "Shit, I ain't hooped in a while," and I don't like that. Not that we're gonna go hoop after this.
Actually, we might. I might have to get that.
I haven't hooped in a long time, and I know my jumper is broken right now.
That's funny.
That's all I got. In the long term, all I really got is my jumper because my handles left a long time ago.
And his ankles.
Adele asked me, she was like, "Yo, Alex played basketball."
Wait, when did she?
This was just yesterday. Just yesterday, we sitting in the car, and I had so much info. You would have been proud of me,
my
man.
therapist asked me that. She said,
"You still have the build."
She said, "Hey, we really got to get you to be you again." What does that mean? I said, "Shit, at this point, I don't really know." Because everything I tell you, you tell me I'm wrong. So then I should start throwing some shit out there. I was like, "Man, I used to play basketball a lot. I ain't touched the ball in a long time. Maybe you should do that." And I said,
"You might want to do
I don't want to disrespect the court right now.
You want to knock up your speed doing your laps and shit, then, so you get your wind right."
This might be no. My cardio is probably fine. It's everything else. I don't. It's gonna be like that scene. What's your man's name from your team? Angels in the Outfield. Remember that scene? You used to be Mel Clark. That's how I feel when I get on the basketball
You
court.
feel like a shade of yourself.
Nah, because G gonna be asking me like, Dad, you used to play this like for real, for real? Apparently.
But the descriptors I gave, I like broke your shoe indoors and outdoors, double rim, chain on there, and still hit all chain at the bottom.
Fam.
I was like, he would have been
Ty
nice.
Ranch got triple rims,
Bro, you know what?
that shit is nasty. They don't want that shit to ever break.
I was like, yo, he used to be able to calculate the wind on the fly. You know, just to throw the hands up, it'd be cash.
This is not making me feel better
Why not?
because I'm.
Why not, Billy?
I'm not him.
Why not, Billy?
Because I'm not him no more.
Nah, I know. It's all right.
Anyway, so I told her, I was like, I probably won't play back. I'm gonna pick up a book to read though.
Pick up a book, bro.
I can't
For
do it.
context,
Very low impact.
Oh shit.
Very low impact.
only thing I can picture you with, bro, is a basketball and some basketball shoes and some basketball shorts. That's the only thing I think of you.
The outfit's still the same.
Yeah.
I just
the
don't
movement.
I just don't have the ball. No,
You probably don't even have the motivation to play no more, though.
I do because I want my kids to be like, oh shit.
Yeah, but do you have anybody to play with?
That never stopped me when I was little.
You can find a run where he live at, though.
I ain't gonna lie.
Montecito is right there. They be running right there all the
I
time.
am Montecito.
Yeah, but it's different because
There's a gym up the way by Rocking Horse.
No, I know.
Yeah.
yeah, but you got to think these 16-year-olds, they move twice as fast as we did. And
I ain't
now
worried about
30
them. I ain't because all these 6-year-olds is
Nah.
pulling up from 38 feet. And
Did
I'm
I-
cool.
did I
I'm
ta-
cool off
Did I
that.
tag you in a 7-year-old that was doing two-step Euro step
The
legs?
70 joint, the 70-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you
that,
see
that,
him?
that kind of crept in my mind too. Like I could still do this.
The
if I
way,
really
the
want
way
to.
he picked up the ball, took his 2 steps off the glass, I was like,
Hey.
oh, none of us have nothing to like
His
complain
meniscus is about to go at any
Bro,
second.
he hit a jump stop. I was like, oh yeah, his
Yeah,
meniscus, all his meniscus are gone too.
I can
know
feel it
they
on my
are.
knees when I think about a jump stop.
Yeah,
Right?
he did a little spin fade away. I was like, oh, none of us can play. They got a new show on Netflix. Speaking of that, this dude goes to like 5 spots in the world and finds like where people are living the longest at and like what they have in common.
Oh, the Blue Zone.
Yeah, you watched it?
Wait, what's it called?
The Blue Zone.
Oh, I only know the scientific term. I didn't know they actually called it that.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
a thing?
The
The
name
Blue
of it-
Zone, yeah,
yeah.
it's based on a diet, and I think it's probably close to kind of where you're at. It's where it's like no, I think it's Italy, right? I think Italy or something like that, where you have the most centurions in like a per capita space because of the diet and the way they live.
Yeah, I got to think. I was talking about that yesterday with my with my dad, and for sure, I looked at our diet. Okay, so for context, I live in Barcelona, Spain right now, so you guys understand.
It's different, huh?
For context,
Hey, you be rolling
For
the
context, I probably
boat. You
ain't
be
seen bro
rolling
like
the boat down
15
the middle of the
years.
street.
Huh?
Is that Barcelona?
oh, that's Venice, bro.
No, hey, look, man, I'm
There's
not
no
going
water. There's no water.
Wait,
in
Venice
Barcelona.
Beach?
Geography.
Yeah, no, Venice.
Geography,
Italy.
my
Okay.
worst.
Venice, Italy.
Geography is my worst subject.
All right.
So.
At
Oh,
least
that's
you on the
true.
right side. I thought you saying like Venice Beach. I like,
No,
bro,
I'm
that's
talking about
kinda
rowing the boat
disrespectful.
down the middle of the street.
Yeah, the
Nah.
gondolas down the street.
They're
That's
running into the
Venice.
bulls.
Actually, yeah, that's pretty close.
There you go.
No, so you
We
got.
we did
Yeah.
that.
We did the hate.
We
Hey,
did
I
that
told
last
you,
year, bro.
Hey,
Earlier, I
hey,
told
no,
him he
no,
keep
no.
having conversations with people that like ain't got
here you
in
go.
context. I told you that.
Nah,
though.
hey, I got one. Pau Gasol.
Actually, I got his number.
Oh shit. Hey,
So let's finish with his intro. we can just start going into like what my man's is doing in life, how you doing and everything. What's going on, man? What's up?
All right, so
What you got cooking? What you want to tell people about? What you don't want to tell? Well, you don't have to say what you don't want to say.
yeah,
but-
I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah,
Nah,
it's only about me.
yeah.
no. I mean, we could talk about Alex. You want to just talk about
No,
Alex?
we good. We gonna intermix it
I
right
got some stories about Alex.
We can do that too.
now. Yeah, he been waiting to get these off.
Yeah. Nah,
yeah.
I just just for context, we live out in Barcelona, Spain, and got my master's degree out there. So
There you go.
Spent the last 3 years.
So you
out
plan
there.
on being there for a while?
Yeah. I mean, I set up a sports agency out there.
Yeah, there you go.
Sports agency.
Yeah.
That's because the thing is,
I need to know what the sports are in Barcelona outside of soccer, though.
Actually, it's basketball. Basketball's number
That
2.
makes
Pau
sense.
Gasol.
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, because Spain's like top 5 in the world. I think whenever.
number one, they took over
In
the
basketball?
US. Took over the U.S.
All right, man, relax. wait a minute.
Don't get me wrong.
I know that's your home team now. and shit, but relax.
no, chill, bro. No.
I just saw they lost to Lithuania this morning. I was like, all right, come on, y'all.
Somebody got bloodied.
I don't give a fuck, man.
Austin
Lithuania?
Reeves.
I mean, Porzingis.
Porzingis?
Is he Latvian or Lithuanian?
Doesn't matter. It's Porzingis ain't about to beat a whole U.S. team by himself. He can't even. Never mind. You know what?
You're about to get him hyped up. Let's see.
Number one in
This
the
is
world.
him. This is really him.
That's funny.
This is American culture getting defensive on
Well, wait a
basketball.
minute. You think Spain is better than the U.S. in
That's what he
basketball?
said. He said they're
No,
number
no.
one
I
in the
thought he
world.
was saying like in terms of popularity.
What is number
No,
one
no,
in the
not popularity. Not popularity.
You
Number
saying
one
like
is
they're the
football,
best?
like
No,
soccer.
the execution of basketball. They're number one. That's what he said.
Oh,
It's a
that's
different sport.
going into that track and field argument that my man had. What's bro's name? He's a runner. He said this week that he was like, yo, like basketball players call themselves world champions, or the NBA like calls themselves world champions, but
As
it
they
doesn't
should.
make any sense because you're not competing
playing
against
the
other
world.
countries.
That's
But they
exactly
also
true.
have a gold medal every time, so they can be fucking world. What do you? Never mind. Can we talk about your app, your agency, and all this other shit? Can you tell me how you met Pau Gasol? Is Pau Gasol a client of yours?
Oh, you don't want to be angered this morning.
I've not met Pau Gasol, just so you're not in person. I did meet Lamont Butler last night, though, from the SDSU championship team. I met with about 3 of the guys and Coach Dutcher.
That's right. He is a devout San Diego State fan. I forgot.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
popped in the city and just started meeting people. I was at home just trying to feeding the kids
The
nuggets.
I actually got to meet with Coach Jeff. I got to meet with Coach Jeff.
Today?
No, probably Thursday or Friday.
Oh, shit, I'm rolling.
Coach Jeff was our high school coach at Morse before he went to Lincoln, won 2 state titles.
There you go.
Great guy.
Didn't win one with me.
Shout
man.
out to Coach Jeff.
We didn't. Number one defense of the city couldn't get it. Big man can't shoot no free throws. I'm getting upset again.
He's boiling it down.
Fuck Mount Carmel.
Uh,
Anyway,
I'm just bringing back bad memories. I think I should leave.
I don't.
It's all good. So you're out in Barcelona right now. You said you're working with professional sports teams. What are you doing like specifically with them?
Mostly player representation. So
Like an agent?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's Rock Nation.
But then you got to do some like talent scouting over here then too, right? To
I
bring
do.
guys over.
I do both. So a lot of what I do, for example, intermediation in multiple languages between teams and players. So what happens is you have players that play here, and then college basketball ends, assuming they played college basketball,
Right.
and then
They're not going to the NBA.
where do you go? Yeah, they're not going
Right.
to go to the NBA. So what do? A lot of them just hang up the shoes, and
Or
it's like,
work at the steel mill.
where are you going to go? Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
for real.
Start podcasting.
I
That's
feel
real
like
shit,
we
though.
got a certain
That's the thing.
basketball nerd
And
that we
this
need to
was
talk
the thing. No, because
about.
me and Jonathan were going to go to Spain when we were like 23.
Yeah.
We were thinking about it.
What happened?
Just on a whim.
I didn't know what the thought was like. As far as I can go, I was like, how the fuck do you even do that?
You get on a plane and you
But
get
that's
off
the thing. But when you ain't been out the neighborhood too much, you're just like, hey,
Social media
you know,
wasn't
I
like what
don't
it was
know.
too, though.
A
That
lot
was
of
like
a lot
10
of people
years
just
ago.
don't know.
That's a big thing. I think I'd like to talk to you guys about, because obviously, so for context, again, I'm half Mexican, half American, and I grew up on both sides of the border. I grew up in Tijuana.
All
I
right,
grew up
Selena
in
told
San
us how
Diego.
tough that was.
Yeah, Selena, rest in peace. No, so basically, I grew up with biculture,
Yeah.
but I obviously growing up in Southeast, most people didn't even leave Southeast.
Good. That's a fair assumption.
So it's
Unless you're going to Temecula.
yeah, or LA. Hey, mama.
She
She
can't
don't
see
even
that
know who
far.
it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she'll
exactly. She
she'll
don't
tell
know
you.
that. She's just like,
She'll
hey,
put
how
two
are
and two
you?
together in a second.
She ain't got her glasses. Wow.
I know that's not
You
Alice.
know I wasn't wearing no white shorts.
I got
Now
better hair.
it's the Labor Day's tomorrow.
I got better hair.
He can get this.
I get it off one more time.
He can get this. And he's Spaniard. And you're a Spaniard now.
Yeah, I would say I'm probably part Spanish.
You probably can pass as a Spaniard dude.
no.
What the, I swear to God, why not?
Okay, so here's
They
the
know. They look at you. Wait, first of all, let's
We
finish the
jumping
story.
too quick.
Yeah, we jumping.
He got
We
to tell us
jumping. We've been
about
doing
how
this
hard
for a
it is
while.
to be a Mexican
Yeah,
American in Southeast.
There we go.
because
Yeah,
he's
let's finish
he's
that.
not
Let's
Mexican.
finish
enough
we
to
that.
have a
be
lot of
Mexican.
movies for that.
He's
But
not American.
I just wanted to explain basically is we don't move enough. In
We don't.
California. Don't.
In the U.S. in general.
Yeah, exactly.
I was just telling my brother-in-law Thursday. I was like, "Yo, man, I had a homie that when I went to Fresno State, it was like the 2 weeks before school started. Dude, moves out from Long Beach over to here, or from Compton over to here, and he was like, "Look, man, it's the first time I ever left the city."
What?
He's like, "I've never been outside of the county lines except for maybe like a field trip."
It's
or
a
something.
very common thing.
Yeah. Like that little, but see, like driving in there, everything you need is there.
Yeah.
You're not going to Home Depot, right? Mom's owning an apartment. You call the landlord or whatever. Food store down the street. Mom ain't got no car and shit. What you laughing at, man? Poverty?
You're not going to Home Depot because you got a landlord?
Yeah, bro.
Actually, that's a legit thing. It's not my problem.
No, I
It's
get
not
it.
my
I
house.
get it.
Like,
But that's the first thing you
But
went
you never. I swear to God, I think about shit like that. Home, like, bro. I'm not leaving.
For real, I ain't going.
I'm not going
Hey,
to-
hey,
He
I
thinks
pay
about
how
that as
much
a
a month for
landlord,
this?
though.
I'm about to get all my dollars worth. I'm staying right here inside.
You ever stayed in an apartment?
Yeah.
You ever went to Home Depot when you stayed in there buy something? Hell no. I'm calling. I'm doing my work order, fam. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure that any tenants you had, like, look, we just go call bro.
No, these motherfuckers is going to Home Depot a little too much. Y'all need to relax. That shit is fine.
Oh shit! But yeah,
Stop trying to trigger me.
How has your mindset changed when you went from renting to owning like owning a house? How did your mindset?
My
change
mindset
about
was
it?
always the same. Like, damn, I'm over here just burning money,
No, but he's-
making somebody
oh,
else.
that's
No,
true.
the mindset was always the same. I was never trying to pay rent because I'm like, I'm just burning money.
yeah.
What about as a landlord though?
Man, fuck them, yo. Like, they complaining, but it's different though because they're not. We don't have the same like perspective. They live in the bumfuck Midwest, man. Let me not talk about them like that.
Yeah.
But it is a little rural.
In case they make click.
It's a little rural, right? And I'm a city boy, so it's like
Oh, so they definitely going to Home Depot. Never mind. You talking about something
they Home
completely
Depot's
different.
They Home Depot's like 40 miles away.
The fact that yeah, still.
So when I get a service call,
they going to
they
Freemasonry
hit me over the
shop.
head like, you better fix something
What
while you're
else?
there.
The Quakers. You got all those people in.
Quick Stop.
That's
Quick
yeah.
Stop.
All that's coming
Shout
into
out Quick
play.
Stop. Shout out all my Midwest people.
So we got the basketball team. You said you do the language services and whatnot, right?
So, okay, so talking about it real quick, what I do is, I manage talent. I actually analyze their games. So
Got it.
what I was doing before I went to Spain is I was working as a D1 prep coach. So I was working with skills development for a lot of kids who were high school kids that wanted to make the jump to D1.
I be forgetting there's high schools in other
Are you
countries.
meeting
That's
with-
it.
that was
here.
Are you
Oh,
meeting
it was
with
here.
Are you
Okay.
meeting with Coach Jeff to like, hey, who's out here? Who can I talk to?
We've already had that conversation.
Okay.
Most of what we talk about, I just want to come visit.
None of this.
I just want to say what's
You
up to
missed
Coach
the
Jeff.
game. You missed the game.
No, I miss Coach Jeff.
Nah, you missed the game too, though.
Coach Jeff, look, when you don't have a father figure in your house, Coach Jeff is one of them
He
dudes.
went
Jeff was
there.
that dude.
Proceed, man.
Coach
He
Jeff
went
was
real
that
deep
dude.
right now, and there was a lot to
Coach Jeff
unpack
is one
from
of them
that.
dudes.
No,
There's
Coach
a-
Jeff was that dude though.
I believe him. I just didn't
He
know
called-
you. I didn't think you was gonna like.
He gave me my high school nickname, well, my Morris nickname.
It is, mama.
See, I told you. I told you she was gonna
I
cook.
told you she
Yeah,
said
I told you she wasn't close enough, man. You gotta.
That's what I came on. I was like, I got
8 minutes ago, he said she gonna put 2 and 2 together.
He's like,
eventually.
I did. I did. I not. I told you. You know your people, man.
mean,
Just
do
like
you-
you know your mom. Hey, we go over there right now. 19 gallons of water somewhere
There's
throughout
not
the
that
house.
many white people that would come like say hi at your house, would they?
Nah,
It's just me and Alex.
It's been a
And
few
even then,
since the pod.
she went to the window when I rang the doorbell. We ain't buying nothing.
No Girl Scout cookies here.
I don't come downstairs only when I have to.
But yeah, so you said that you were saying that you already talked to Coach Jeff. You were doing D1 and stuff like that. So now where you at?
Okay, so now basically what we do as an agency, there's about 4 of us in our agency,
Yeah.
and we manage player profiles, skills development, game analysis, obviously placement for matches or for teams. And,
Big analytics.
Yeah, there's statistical analytics. We do some regression stuff like that. And then sponsorship and advertising opportunities.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So player representation kind of includes the full package. Some people just do the agency representation. I actually got my master's degree in sports management in Barcelona. I worked with Barcelona Football Club, and I did a couple projects for them, and then other first division institutions over there. So we kind of attached basically the amateur side of basically the non-business side of sports to the business side of money making.
That's so crazy how sports has changed like that. Because like when you talking like this and everything, I'm thinking of like where I'm currently at in the Lakers documentary show on HBO Max, like Winning Time. Like just seeing like that was probably about the birth of like, you know, big business in sports. That era is, in my opinion, right?
How's the app going?
Okay, oh, he ain't letting that part go. Fuck my winning
I'm
time.
tying it
It's
all
cool.
together.
It's good. You're right.
So-
You're good. You're good now.
So
I'm being serious.
I know.
I'm looking at you like this.
You gave a statement.
All right.
I didn't say nothing about it. How's
I
the
like
app
your
going?
face though. I know your face. It's
we're
cool.
gonna take a right
Go
turn.
ahead. But how's the app going?
Okay, so we actually co-founded. We were part with the city of Barcelona, and we ran through one of their incubator programs, and we created.
What are you incubating?
So you incubate a small business or a new startup. So in
Got
this
it.
case,
Okay.
We to incubate, for those who don't know, basically means to help nurture until it's fully ready to stand on its own, like a baby. For
Trying
example.
to sell it.
Not necessarily. It just means that you need to get it off the ground, go through all of the logistics of paperwork and legal documents, and understanding your long-term plans and short-term plans, goal setting, and everything that goes along the way. So what we created is an app called Sports Society. Basically, what the app does is it links 27 different sports to any city and all players around the world that want to play for free. So it'll tell you where people are running, when people, like I say running as in basketball, but where people are playing, when people are playing. You can create your own tournaments for free. You can set up your own matches and share them inside or outside of the app. You can post them on Instagram or Facebook, all of your Twitters, whatever. What are we calling it? X now?
Yeah.
X. And
Mama called it Twitter. I'm gonna call it Twitter.
and basically anything that you want to do when it comes to sports and connecting with people, it's 100% free. So it's like, hey, where's the next run at? Oh, Alex might know. Hey, we got to run on Tuesday, 8:00.
Oh,
Do you find the facilities too?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing: the entire app is 100% community created.
Yeah, it's gonna be community police because it's like, all right, I'm trying to get some people to run here. Let me post it so people can come through, and I'm not wasting my time running up there.
Well, why not do that here?
It is here. It's available. It's
Didn't
available
know that.
in California.
You got to start getting some advertisement off then.
So that's where we're at now. We were adding a couple of functions and features, which one of them was to be able to create your own tournaments, because that seems to be like a new thing where people want to create one-on-one tournaments, for example, like King of the Court. But like for example, I don't know, maybe there's a prize for $50 or something. It's like, hey, blah 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 company wants to sponsor a one-on-one tournament, so they can.
Gambling.
Yeah, but you don't pay to use it.
I'm talking about I got $50 on the floor. I'm gonna hit this shot. I'm gonna walk away. Anybody want to take this $50 from me? Come shoot.
See, that's not us. But you can do it.
That's not us.
You can do it, but I mean that's not what the app is. But
so then you would get money based off of advertisements.
Yeah, we just have some basic in-app ads. The main function of the app isn't necessarily to make money, though. We didn't create the app with the intent of making money.
I understand what you're saying.
There are other apps that can do similar things or somewhat similar things, but they charge you for use. Like $8 a game, they'll help set it up. $8 a game per head.
Damn.
So you're talking
Per game.
Yeah. People do this too. People will do this sometimes.
And people pay for that?
Sometimes because
Fam, I can go down to the local Y and get a run in for free. That's what's crazy.
That's the thing.
Right.
Exactly. And so what happens though in Europe especially is a lot of the fields and the courts that you want to play with. So you know how we have municipal courts and municipal gyms that's open to the public and it's managed by the county or the city, right?
Right.
What happens is in Europe a lot of times these are sub-leased or subcontracted out to, let's say, clubs. And these clubs manage the entire installation. So it's still managed and known by the city, but the clubs manage who gets to use it, when they get to use it, what teams they get to use it. Because in Europe, for example, clubs don't have not just one team. It's not like the Lakers where it's just the first, NBA team. They have sub-23s, sub-18, sub-19, sub-18, sub-20. And they go all the way down to sub-5. So meaning 5 years and under, they have a 5-year-old team. Kind of like your local...
So they got people in that gym all day, every day.
Every day, exactly.
So they're going to keep it full no matter what.
That's exactly what happens.
Oh, you have to really be good too then, because that means you have a limited time to use facilities to get better then.
Correct. Correct.
No, that's what that means.
Right, yeah. Well, though the municipal ones.
Yeah, but he's not saying anything that lets me know that like there's better competition outside of those places though. Like here. Like it almost doesn't even sound like a free market type like thing to be able to get better out there. Like you almost have to instantly be 6'7", 6'8", and have some intangible somebody to like work with you and stuff.
Okay, well for reference though is you have a coach. Like this is okay. Think about it this way. Literally,
No. I'm saying like us. We all grew up in this neighborhood together, right? Let's say that club is the rec up the street.
Yes.
Right. But if the rec is booming from 8 to 8, and that's the only facilities that we have in this neighborhood, right? Unless we're going to another one that's owned by someone else, it's gonna be hard to find good competition because all the competition is going to these places. Am I right?
Well, you're talking about good competition on the street,
right?
Okay, but they're training with a coach. It's like Little League. Imagine Little League, But the difference
you
is
just join the squad, and then you can use the facility.
Right.
yes. So you have to pay to
Like
be
a
in the
travel
club.
team.
It's a travel team.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
travel team.
Essentially, it's like a travel team.
It's just like AAU is, for example, but from 4 years old.
Right, and there's exclusion in that.
Yes, there is.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes, there
right?
is.
So like if you was just some kid with limited skills, hypothetically speaking, right?
Never been me.
I told you. You see how I tried to
It's me
get
now.
it out. Wait, but if you
I got a big ego.
but if you had limited skills and shit like that, right? Then how am I going to get better if I'm not a part of the club and I have to pay for it, right?
So this is where we also created the academy.
Right.
So Alex,
Ooh, look at the segue.
well, there's a whole other story. Okay.
Segway popping.
Here's the thing. So I grew up here where everything's free. Everything is for the most. You can get free runs in. There's free courts and everything else like that.
Not necessarily free, but it's paid for by the general public
yeah,
through taxes.
exactly.
So that's what I'm at. That's what I want you to answer to. How the tax system works there. Go ahead though.
Okay. So it's funded by the city. So the thing
No, you ain't
is-
got to get there now. You go back to your original point.
So here's where it goes. Basically, you want to. Let's say you're an average basketball player. You're not a great basketball player, but the team down the street is.
Sounds
great.
true.
Then you need to
No,
go.
that's a stretch.
Shut up, man. Come on, keep going. Keep
Hey,
going.
he can post up though.
Don't worry about it.
All
Keep going.
So basically, is you want to play for, you have to play for a quote unquote weaker team or a lower division team. They have rings of like how good you are. So they go. Imagine it was A, B,
Like
C,
AAA
D.
baseball. Like you got to
Yeah,
go to the
exactly.
the minors and
Exactly. So you go A, double A, triple A.
This is
right?
probably why he thinks that they surpassed us then, based on their
shit. No,
development.
I'm pretty sure he has a number or something to back that up. So let's stop interrupting him.
All right.
It's still not true.
I will.
but-
I will say this. I have a lot of players now that actually want to bypass NCAA basketball and they want to go straight to club because they feel it's a
Yeah.
more direct route to playing professionally.
Right.
But professionally, where?
Because it is.
Anywhere, because they don't care about the NBA. When you think about the NBA now, how many players in the NBA? 504,
500.
504,
500 players. That's 500 players of 50 million basketball players in the world. If your logic is I'm only going to play in the top 1% of the 1%, that doesn't really make sense.
What's the pay? What's the medium salary where you guys are, and what's it translate to the U.S. dollar?
That actually that varies completely from country to country.
But I can't imagine that if you're a top ranked player like over there,
You can make a good living
I'm
playing
sure, no,
basketball.
I know that because
you just got to deal with the sacrifice and not.
my man D, his best friend, her husband, right? He played overseas and he made about like 120, 200,000, or he'd make like 30,000 or whatever for playing 5
It's why
games
the
with a team or
WNBA
something
players
like that.
always go overseas during the off season
Well, that's
because they make
women,
more money over
they're
there.
not valued over here either, though.
It's not necessarily better money overseas anyway. It's just they get to continue playing. So there's there's another thing that we don't have here that is over there. So another reason they may end up surprising us here in basketball is, and probably many sports, here we run a multi-sport system per year, right? So each season maybe 4 or 5 months. So you can play 2 or 3 different sports within a year. They dedicate 10 months out of the year to playing that one sport. So you play basketball from from August is preseason, and you finish in June.
But basketball's year round too,
We're
though.
not gonna do that. We're not gonna act like America hasn't done that too, though. The people are playing basketball year round, maybe not professionally, but this is why all these knee problems and all these other injuries are happening now because they don't take no break. They train nonstop year round. You're not Deion Sanders. You're not Bo Jackson. There's not many people that are playing 2 sports.
That's true.
Professionally.
Nowadays.
So Americans are, maybe they're not playing in a league 10 months out of the year like you're saying over there, but they're playing year round.
But I think
That's a worldwide thing.
But it's different because, so for example, you train 3 to 4 days a week with your club, and then you have a game on the weekend.
yeah.
So you're playing 4 or 5 days a week for 10 months and coaching and training and in the weight room and everything else. But I'm talking about at the developmental level. I'm not talking about necessarily at the professional level. Even at the developmental level, you're playing 10 months out of the season. Like the season is 10 months
this
long.
is my life.
The one thing
This is
that
your
I will
life.
give you though
It
is
is your
that I
life.
feel like your younger talent will beat our younger talent because AAU basketball and stuff and all those other little like youth sports are like a free for all.
Yes.
That's where the one thing that I would give.
Well,
them.
it's 2023. Holla at me next year, man. Let me know when that medal ceremony's happening.
Well, that's the other
I'm
thing
not
too,
giving it up
because
till
I
it's
feel like
taken.
our top players don't play. They got Anthony Edwards out there like
In
like
the
Steph.
FIBA, no, but when it really matters, when the Olympics roll around,
You think Steph gonna play? No.
World Cup is more important than the Olympics, though. And that's happening now.
Yeah.
in basketball,
Yeah.
maybe because no. But you know what's more important The fucking NBA championship. That's exactly why 04 happened, because they're like.
But that's
no.
only because of money, I believe.
I agree.
If the money was different, because I was just talking to my mans about this. I was like, yo, look, if
shit, there's a white woman in my house.
My partner just came in and scared the living crap out of
man.
Kay's mom. My goodness.
That's funny.
Yeah, hug it out.
I was like, I didn't even hear the door chime. I was like, we gonna have to get up? That's crazy. But yeah, man. All right, you know what? Let's get into the episode. On the side, also, you do insurance. We'll throw that on the side,
on
too.
the side,
on the side,
he
also,
saved a bunch of people hundreds of dollars by not switching to Geico.
Absolutely. Not switching to Geico. Let's get into it, man. Let's talk about some shit other than sports. The women are still with us.
Yeah, exactly.
Read 'em and wheat. Always get to the story. Do a little reading. I've been dating my boyfriend for 3 years. Early on, his mom overshared personal details about her marriage to him, creating what I felt an emotional incest dynamic. It made me uneasy. Though he eventually set boundaries, she still contacts him daily. At 26, I wish he'd exhibit more emotional independence. This week, as we're moving, his parents, especially his mom, have been very hands-on. They've been preemptively contacted storage places and moving places, leaving me feeling excluded. That does not sound like the fun part of the job, right? I feel like if somebody's helping you do that, cool. Their help is appreciated, but their over-involvement is overwhelming. My boyfriend's constant stress and reliance on them make him less available and supportive to me. I voiced my concerns about his dependency, hoping he'd understand. Instead, he discussed our conversation with his mom. Her reaction implied I come from a different family background, suggesting I always seem unhappy with their actions. I've long felt that they've hold an unattainable standard. My autism can make it difficult for me to articulate feelings, which perhaps compounds these misunderstandings. Yeah, we're talking to Elon Musk right here.
I was about to say some shit. I'm glad I didn't say it.
Last parts. For clarity, I'm close to my family, especially since my dad passed 7 years ago. Our move is partly to be closer to my mom and sister. While I seek their advice, I also value independence. Discussing this with my mom, she felt I should be more appreciative of his parents' involvement. Now, speaking from a mama's boy's perspective, because that is myself, right? I don't see nothing wrong with
That's
this.
what I was gonna say before the A word and all this. So I was
What
like,
was that?
why Adele right into the show like that?
So go ahead, lean into me, because I'll give you my reasons.
No, go ahead. Finish with your story.
No, because this is what I think is that because people don't have secure relationships, maybe with their parents or whatever, right? I'm not trying to dig into you specifically. I'm talking in general. I'm talking in general. I don't know your situation. But I'm saying because people don't, it's a little bit of envy. Like my homie, they used to tell me like, yo, you had both your parents in the household. It was great. I was like, yeah,
that
man.
was me.
But the other one too, when I told you never went outside from Compton, you met him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Y'all
bonded
actually about to say.
We
y'all about the same type of dude. Just the skin color is different. That's all.
We might have bonded over that moment.
Oh, absolutely. On the hate.
Look at that spoiled motherfucker.
Yeah. Living his best life, talking about we flying out to DC. But I'm saying, my point is like I feel like it isn't bad for me to be able to get context and like information from my mother at a later age in my life. Independency for some people is overrated.
Yes. I think you might be hitting on something where people think I have to do it all on my own.
Right.
And the reality is nobody does it on their own.
And it probably stems from something that, the underlying thing, what you're saying is the person who's thinking that way, they don't understand the perspective of like, hey, just because you're over 18 doesn't mean they're not your parent anymore.
Right.
Doesn't mean you can't seek guidance, because no matter what age you are, they've already hit that age. And as you're growing, assuming you're gonna come into new context of the world, new issues, new anything. In theory, who would you run to first? Somebody you trusted who's already been through that stage of life. And yeah, technology and other things might make how it is a little different, but a lot of the overlying themes of whatever age you're at, they've already gone through. So yeah,
but there's some people who have something to prove. There's a lot of people who think,
right, but
I
that's just
prove
not
myself by doing it all by myself.
But that's not very like evolved of somebody.
It is. Because that is the rhetoric for more than 50% of the people that walk around this earth.
No, it is, but
or at least in America. I won't say like other
because
cultures
a lot of people
are
are like, let me not listen to my OGs. The people that rather have life teach them than learn from other people's mistakes and just kind of bypass that. I don't want to use the word idiots, but it's like, yo, like, why? Like, yeah, going through something will give you more appreciation, whatever, but time is all we got, right? So if you can save a lot of time by just learning from someone else's mistakes who's already gone through it, why not do that and get to an elevated space quicker so you can focus on something else that matters?
Because I think you have to seek that. And
no, you do have to seek that.
That's what I'm saying. You have to seek that, though. So if for some reason somebody is being told something, they might feel like insecure about like, oh, you're telling me this as if I can't figure it out.
And I'm
on my
only
own.
speaking to the people who have the OGs or older people around that could do, because a lot of people that got to go through it, they just don't have nobody to tell them.
Yeah.
Ignorance is different than stupidity.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm not speaking to those people who just don't got nobody to turn to. I'm talking about people that's like, hey, you know what? I just went through this. Don't do what I did. And they're like, everything's different, man. Fuck all that. And they just do it, and then same shit happens to them, and they waste all this time.
But I hate that rhetoric of don't do what I did. I encourage people to fuck up.
I do too.
Like, make mistakes.
But in what in context, though, right?
Don't
be afraid to fail. But hey, specifically, you don't need to make this mistake. This is how it goes. Probably do something different. Now, if you still fuck up along the way, give yourself grace, all that. But
you've been a young dude before, though. You still gonna make them mistakes.
Yep.
I'm not talking about making mistakes in general. I'm
Right.
talking about specific.
No, I get it. But what you're talking about is don't touch the stove. It's hot. And then you still touch it anyway.
That's the one.
Yes.
So, you've done that plenty of times.
No, but what I'm saying is like, hey, don't touch the stove. It's hot. All right, I didn't touch it, but then I made a different mistake that nobody told me about, or I just had to go through, or it was
Of equal value of touching the stove.
No, and that's fine. But I also saved time, saved a Band-Aid, saved a whatever by not touching the stove.
Right.
And so I got to this mistake quicker. Because life is all about failing forward, right?
Yes.
You fail forward. Anybody who's ever done anything meaningful in life had to take a lot of L's. And the reason they got to where they at is because they took those L's and they ran with it. They didn't let it deter them. They didn't fuck around and just quit because of it. They said, hey, this is an L, it's a lesson. But along that way, it's like, while I have to make these L's, I'm also learning from people who went through it, and I'm skipping their L's.
Okay.
Right? I can get to where they were at a lot quicker because I'm learning from people who've already done it before.
Let me propose something to you. So, if somebody just telling you something means that you're going to learn it, though, does that mean that
No,
you're gonna
I'm not saying
instantaneously-
that's what I said. Like, going through it, you're probably going to learn it better.
You have to go through it though in order.
You don't have to go through everything. That's my point.
All right.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. There's certain
everyone has
L's.
different thresholds.
There's certain L's you're gonna have to take. You just have to go through it. But someone else who might have done the same route you did, but they took twice as long because they had to do all these other L's because nobody told them. You can skip some of these L's,
Yes.
and you know what I'm saying. And you can get there a little quicker just by learning from their mistakes.
But you have to understand the path that they took too, because otherwise,
I mean, yeah, but
they say,
also
take a left,
it's
take a
like,
left, and then let's just say it was just a walk. Take a left, turn right, turn left. But you have to know where the left.
I didn't think I was going to get this much pushback on this. Like,
That's why having a third is cool, because I could just
how does it like? Maybe I'm not articulating it correctly. It's like,
Are you saying L's are inevitable no matter what they are?
if you're trying to go that high up, for sure.
Okay, that's
If you're doing
that's
any-
the simplistic version. I mean, I don't feel like every L is. It's not necessary.
That's what I'm saying. Not every L is necessary.
Right.
Some of them you're gonna have to, no matter what.
But sometimes
I
you could
agree
take an
on
L
that
by
part.
doing nothing, or you could take an L by having action. So at some point,
I'm just saying, if we
equate L's differently too,
And
right?
I- and
Because
I'm
if I'm a
talking
trust
about-
fund baby,
I'm
I have
talking
money to
about-
burn and play with.
exactly.
But I'm talking about two people who are doing the same, trying to do the same thing, but one person went first, and they have the same similar circumstances.
Oh, but you and I had the same similar circumstances with our parents separated growing up
That
in
is
the
true.
Southeast, both being
Right, but no, but we're not doing the same thing.
That's the point. So not everybody.
I'm
has the same
talking about people that
experiences.
are trying to do the same thing. I'm not talking about in general. I'm talking about people who are doing the same
Give
thing.
me an example of what that thing would be.
So like
college.
in context, well, college. Yeah, maybe college, right?
Or a career path. Let's narrow it down
So
even more.
someone's trying to be someone's trying to go to college and they're like, oh, you need to do this and that. It's like you can only, I don't even know if I want to spend this much time on this, but no, because everything that's coming to my mind is like criminal, so it doesn't.
Don't do this. Don't do that.
All right, we can jump off this.
All right.
But,
But even still, I don't feel like having a connection or a special connection with your parents is a bad idea. What
it's
do you
not
think
a bad
about
idea,
that?
and it is anybody who is it is hate. As someone who is an aforementioned hater, it's hate. There's a slight bit of envy. There's like you can twist it all you want, because I tried to shoot my mom so much bail in therapy last week. I was like, yo, look how independent it made me. She's like, and it's you know, as long just try to have somebody around, right? So it's like
Who do you go to when you need?
That was
when
my
you need-
question.
Who do you need to go to?
Or
when you need to
historically.
get help. Yeah, exactly.
historically,
You know what, though?
I took a lot of unnecessary.
I
L's.
don't want to ask him that because he not gonna answer it the right way, and I'll answer it for him outside looking in. Bro is really good at asking people who are good at doing what they do that like is in his best interest.
Yes.
Right? So you'll go out and seek guidance. It may not be from a parent figure, maybe because like the stuff that you're doing and the stuff that they're on may be a little bit inferior, maybe that bad word to use. But like you'll find someone who is superior in that category and go rub elbows with him. Isn't
that what people should be doing?
Yes, you seek.
You
seek a
should do
professional.
that. But the thing is that my mom was an OG before you, right? My mom was my dad was an OG before you. And the fact that I have the benefit of having a good relationship with him, I can get that advice. Like the shit you was getting maybe from other people, like my mom would talk to me about when I was in college. Like, oh, you got to watch your spending. You got to do this with your credit or whatever. You getting this information either by reading and understanding,
a lot of
getting
shit
off
that
of people. I got
had
guidance
to,
with
I had to go seek it, whether it be a book or people, and then I applied it to
Right.
see if it made sense, right?
And I guess
But
the drain is you don't have the emotional connection with someone to
that's the
say, hey,
thing,
look,
too,
they
like,
told me,
the
they showed
book
me
has
that.
the information. Doesn't necessarily mean it's the right information for
you.
me at the right time.
Exactly.
But they're not going to tell me that part. They just specifically have the information.
It's like WebMD.
Yeah, because by WebMD we all got cancer,
Exactly.
Right.
right? So
Who would you say that person is for you?
It depends on what it is. If it's probably more relational, it's probably going to be my mom,
Okay.
because my mom is very good with people as far as like building strong emotional connections with them. However, I would probably say my go-to is probably my dad. I'm lucky enough to
hating again.
No, I'm lucky to have a great father who I'm actually staying with now.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky enough to have that conversation with my dad where it's like I can go to him and say, hey, I've got this situation. I don't really know how to handle this. What do you think? And because unlike generalized information, when someone knows you,
Yeah,
they can also tell
because they can apply it the way you need it to be applied.
Correct. And
The way he
that's-
talking right now, that's how I want my kids to talk about me.
Like
That's
you're
what drives me.
like
Shout
you're
out,
available.
Pops.
To have that type. No, just the way he's talk. The way you asked the question and he went straight. You know what? My dad. I'm fortunate enough to have this, and that, and he steers me in the right direction. Blah blah blah. That's all I'm trying to do.
Right.
I ain't trying to do much. I'm trying to wake up and just do that.
It's just be there.
You know what I mean?
So all right, now let's further this, and this will be our lasting points that we'll make on this topic, right? But how would you feel if your significant other got in the way of that balance? So like for you, right? Hey, look, I don't like you involving other people,
You want me
right?
to tell the truth?
we can tell the truth.
Well, I mean, well, it's happened. But I never had the balance anyway.
Because some people don't see the vision, right? Like this lady, right? This girl that she's talking about right here, she's rooted in trauma.
Yes.
Father passed away. You know, it's just her mother and her sister.
Yeah.
This guy's got both his parents. His mom's actively involved. His mom's probably got to split time between two kids, right? That's a difficult time. For me, any woman that dates me, you got to live with the fact that my mom may be parentified over both of us. I'm gonna sit
point. This is a question for y'all because I can't relate to that scenario because when it happens, I'm like, she kind of right. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna let y'all answer this. Is
talking about like you let people take advantage of you?
No, I'm talking about if your significant others were to mess up y'all balance with that relationship. I can't speak to that.
Okay, I think it's only happened in this current relationship maybe twice, where like I've been like, you know what, I'm gonna leave for a little bit, blow some steam off. I'm gonna come home to this house. And when I came home to this house, I came in, told her the situation. I hear the door chime go off. 7 minutes later, I hear my door chime go off because I got cameras around my house like Fort Knox. And here she is ringing on the doorbell. Y'all need to work on this shit. He don't need to be up here at this house. That's involved, right? And so at that point, right, you can tell me that.
Right. 100%.
My dad can't tell me that, right? Like no one can tell me that. But her, I gotta sit there and I gotta listen to it for some innate like psychological reason. I'll listen to it. You know what I mean? So it's like my mom overrides all that shit. I remember dating girls saying the same shit you said. Oh, your mama did blah 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 for you. Yeah, that's cool. Like I'm not mad at that. Like, you know, I'm not over here. I'm here every week on Sunday, but like sometimes it's just Sunday that I'm here. You know, she'll call me for like everyday shit or whatever, but that's it. She'll help me out. Like I'll be busy. So it's almost cool to have her there, right? And even as like me and my wife continue to be together, it's become a resource because if she needs help with something, she'll call my mom now. We don't really go to her folks like that because the situation is different.
That's trust.
Absolutely.
She has trust in your family that she can go to them without judgment.
Right.
And that's maybe another thing is someone who has that distrust of your spouse's of their spouse's parents might be that they just don't have that trust communication that like, hey, I can go to them for help. And so if they're getting involved in our lives and making quote unquote decisions for us, they're not feeling like they trust those parents to look out in their best interest.
Yeah, because if you don't have the trust, then you're not going to see it as very credible.
No,
like,
you're going to think
get the fuck out my business. Like, who are you?
Exactly. They're stepping into your life with making your decisions for you without necessarily thinking that they're doing something in your best interest to help you, not that you can't do it on your own.
Hold up real quick. Make sure this still on. Unplug it real quick and plug it back out. Here, this and that. There it is. Say something.
Check.
There we go.
Okay.
All right. My question to you then, your partner, she's from the area that you're at?
She's from Barcelona.
So then your experiences are completely different, right? Because like here you are between, you know, America and Tijuana.
Yep.
But now you're moving on the other side of the world. Your family's not there. Her family may be there.
Her family's there.
Right? So then in that instance, right, does she have a good connection with her family?
She does.
And so but you come from a background of at least, you know, knowing both of your parents and like getting the best of both worlds. But how's that experience then?
Okay, so her parents are also divorced also. So her father has not remarried, but basically is resettled with another woman.
Yes.
Their kids live with them. And her mother lives in their old house. So for example, she has a good relationship with both of her parents. And they're cordial to each other, just like a lot of divorced relationships are. But I can talk to her parents, both of them, and the conversation or anything that happens between her and either of her parents, I just support her in being able to communicate and talk to her parents and feel like get on the same page.
Yeah.
Because they're always going to try. I can't think of any. I don't know any personal parents personally that want to hurt their child or want to cause them problems because you just invested 40 years of your life or 30 years of your life in helping raise this person. So when my conversation goes back with if she has something maybe with her parents or family, I always go back with change it of, all right, can you change this into a conversation that comes positive? Not, oh, they're stepping into our boundaries. Oh, they're making plans for us. Oh, no. They want to just help. Most parents just want to help.
Right.
So my conversation is if you ever feel like there's boundaries that are being overstepped, talk to them.
Yeah.
Make that communication because me in my case is I don't get involved between them. That connection between parent and child It doesn't matter who's there, however long it's going to take. I don't care if you've been married for 30 years. That communication, that relationship will always be stronger because of all of the experiences they've shared together.
That's why every time we drive by his mom's house, he look over.
Mama got cookies. Mama got cookies. Mama
Hey, you know him. Hey, I watch
trying
him
to be
too.
quiet.
I watch him.
I was over here trying to.
I seen it.
I
He
was
felt
staying
it
out the
though.
way.
He felt it though.
No, 'cause
He gonna go drive by her today and not say that. He
We was in the
Dear
car.
mama.
We was in the car together. It's just a natural habit I have because I lived there for
It's been multiple times. It's not one time.
I'm saying it's a natural habit I
Yeah.
have. But the first time that we was in the car, we did it. I looked over and then 2 seconds later, he said, "That's trauma."
Yeah.
I was going to ask you if it was a fear thing or a love thing.
No, it's a natural. It's a habit I had. When I lived there, I did it when I passed by.
Just look
it's
up.
a natural habit.
But now you've been gone for some time now. But it's just like, yeah,
it's
I
a
feel
natural.
you.
No, so everything on this block's like
A small
at the-
part of you
at the-
misses it over here.
at
Wish it
the
was
top
the
of
same
the, at
too.
the
I
top of
know.
the hill, right? They installed a "Don't turn on red" sign. That
Yeah.
was not there
It wasn't.
as a child.
My dad
I
is
got
part of one of
pulled
the
over.
statistics. That's why
I
that
got
sign
pulled
is there
over.
too.
Yeah. I got pulled over, and the cop was like, "I can tell you've lived here a long time because of the way I was like, yo, that shit ain't been there this whole time. Do not fucking play with me." I was like, yo, I ain't been here in a minute.
You got pulled over up there?
I got pulled over when they installed that shit, right? And I was living in Spring Valley. I was like, I ain't been here in a minute. I grew up on here. That's not been here the whole time. It's a natural thing.
He
And
must really work this beat because
Yeah.
most people don't even say nothing anymore.
just
now.
the way I explained it, he's like, I know. Like, I know you're telling the truth. This is a warning. Pay attention. Reading is fundamental.
Read the sign.
And I was like, word. That shit's bullshit too, man. You gotta turn off right there. I'm in a hurry every time I try to I gotta get out of here, man.
You're
like-
like, not on a manual shit, on a
like-
stick shift. Get stuck
Oh,
on the
that
hill.
shit is funny as hell. And you right though, because I do be in a hurry every time you ready to jump up out of there. Hit my hand claps, dog. Let's go, man. Let's get to the next one. We get to some fun facts. I thought you had a Costco kids store. Random shit to fill in time.
Thought you was gonna.
Do you care what your girl wears in front of company to the point where you may say something?
I can't say that because of what I be wearing in front of company sometimes.
Yeah, but is it like the same review? Like the same type of review?
Oh, you mean like if she was out here high shorts and shit like that?
Yeah.
I can't. I don't think I can really relate to that because. Like,
But would you say something? Let's say
no, I'm probably not gonna say that.
hypothetically speaking, she answers the door, no bra on, but you just notice, right? I'm gonna watch my words carefully because I know how you get, right? You just notice, hey, look, you're a little bit revealing right now. Are you gonna say something about that, or are you just gonna let it slide?
I'm probably gonna let it slide.
All right, no conversation after.
And it might come up later.
Okay, there we go. Just not in front of company. You're
No,
not gonna
never.
disrespect her.
Never
Okay,
that.
okay. What about you?
Couldn't care less.
All right,
I don't have any insecurities about it. It's like,
that's real.
in Spain, for example, you go to the beach and damn near half the whole beach is topless, and that's if it's
Word?
not a new beach. Yeah, yeah. You never seen so many boobs in your life.
I can't go to Spain by myself now. He just ruined it. Can't go. She wouldn't let me get that off anyway. I think I asked her about going to Colombia because my Baz said he was going down the street, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go to Colombia." She's like, "Yeah, right. Yeah, there ain't no way that's gonna happen, man."
So pop.
Look, see, I told you, everybody got to get
I
a
can
close
tell by the
look.
way he peeked in to look at me. He was making sure. He's like, "There's two white people here."
We're at quota.
Wait a minute.
We're
man.
at quota.
The yearly quota.
We're at quota right now. Yeah, I mean, like honestly, I don't think it's. I was thinking about that because I was like, yo, there's some shorts that like my wife got that she walk around in the house in or whatever. But if she go check the mail, I don't really be tripping over stuff like that.
Yeah,
Let me ask
ain't
you.
no
Let me
tripping.
ask you why. Why would you care?
I don't think
It would be an insecurity at that point.
I don't think anybody here care. I really don't care. It
Oh,
is
he
what it
would. But he from a different time. You know what I mean? Like people from a different time, they do.
And that question is, why would they care?
But here's a flip side, right? Because and even thinking about that, right? I love that point that you made because I look at it in a different way. There's a dude that goes to the gym. He looks like Fred Flintstone in the face, but he's got a AC/DC like bowl cut. It's like that. Actually, no. You remember the dude Dumb and Dumber, but the one that had the bowl cut hair?
Yes.
It's the same haircut, but he walk around in a Speedo, right? Big stomach, little legs, everything, right? But that's his thing.
Fire.
I don't know if he's, gay or not, right? But there's a girl there. She be like, oh my God, it's this disgusting dude in here again. And I'm like, yo, you know, the double standard is wild because there's a few of y'all that be like 220 or whatever wearing two pieces, and we all got to see that. I got kids and shit. They over there looking at stuff they ain't never seen before. Right, so I feel like there's always like there's a double-edged sword with things. I was sitting up there thinking, I was like, my man's wearing a Speedo. I'm a little bit like, oh, that's crazy, but it's not like to the point where I'm gonna go tell the staff. Like I've seen worse. Like in my opinion, like from women, because that's part of their style of dress is revealing skin, right? So it's like for me, I don't trip over that because again, that's the societal norm. Now, for my daughter, she's not that of that age to where she could do that, right? She could do that 19, 20,
it's also
or
a
whatever.
different relationship
What you mean?
that you have with your wife versus what you have with your daughter.
Absolutely.
Keep your ass in the house.
Is there a way that your kids get dressed that would bother you?
Yes.
What is that? What I just described?
No. Well, not.
Raggedy Ann.
They gotta live
You gotta
with
watch
Raggedy
yourself
Ann.
on that one. That was a setup. My bad, bro. When I replayed the question back in my head, it's not the time.
No, as long as I can understand where it's coming from, like if they get into like a goth era, I'm be like, oh shit, I can't. I don't
I didn't know
know.
you was gonna take it here, but you might be right.
I don't know what to do with this.
Sagging pants is cool.
I mean, I can't get mad at anything that I've done. I can try to understand it and maybe try to push it a different way, but I'd be like, yo, like.
I'm serious, like sagging pants, boxers hanging out, you know, holding the shirt up, just acting like real Southeast.
Everything we did.
Yeah, everything.
Right.
It's not the style anymore, right?
It's
First of all,
not.
it's not. So
But
you
if
have
it
very
was,
limited things to worry about. Baggy pants are not coming back. It's too hot for that.
Have you looked at
Baggy
yourself?
pants are coming back. Not in the context
Not for
that
men.
we did it.
Not for men.
Oh, maybe it's not men.
For women, yes. Baggy pants is in for women.
Oh,
They
you talking
be
about
like-
loose fit? Like
Yeah,
loose,
the loose fit, like the
break
jeans.
that?
Yeah,
Nah,
yeah.
not my thing. I don't like that, but this is
That's a young girl thing. It's like 24 and under.
yeah.
But man, by the time they get there, I'm assuming they're gonna be all right. But
I feel like you have a hard time putting your foot down the way you talking right there.
well, no, because that's what I'm saying. Like, I can't sit here and be like, I don't understand what they're doing and get mad because I was the kid who wasn't understood and they got mad.
Right, of this culture. So I love what you said
So
about
I'm
the goth
try-
thing. So if he put a bunch of pro style in his hair and did a twist spike, what are you doing?
I'm gonna be like, hey man, that's interesting. I love you.
I love you. It's
As long as it don't come with an attitude change, like, all right, man, I'm gonna still punch you in the chest. Like, who the fuck you think you
just
talking
being there.
to?
What was that little McDonald's character with the hair in the face? He just be out there shaking the hair off the brow and
The
shit.
big purple one?
Yeah, the purple one, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Purple
yeah.
one's Grimace.
Somebody had hair in front of their face,
The
but anyway,
Hamburger.
But yeah, if they
pop your phone open while you do this too,
why?
because we talk about some this other thing you got on here that is not my bag, but you obviously got from a work training.
On a personal note, Alex, have you ever looked back at yourself in the photos from high school?
Oh, absolutely, probably.
And
weekly.
what do you think about?
I was fired, man. That was my prime.
Oh,
What you mean?
wow.
I got all the bitches.
He would still wear that if he could. Would you not? So I'm
mean-
trying to tell you, he would still wear it if he could. Absolutely.
I have like basketball shorts and stuff from that era. I still have some like couple items from that era.
That you purchased recently?
No, from that I'm saying the actual era from when I was.
You didn't catch the sarcasm, but it's cool. I was joking, man.
No, I know. I'm just
My bad.
saying.
What if it was cool? Would you go back? If it became cool again?
He would go
I
back
don't-
even if it was cool.
I don't care about clothes in general enough to be like, oh, I can go back now and this and that.
Should have been
I'm
here
just,
last week. You would have really believed his statement.
I'm just trying to, not embarrass my family.
Amen to that. 5 conflict styles. Conflict management is the process of handling disputes and disagreements between two or multiple parties. The goal of this system is to minimize the negative factors that are influencing the conflict and encourage all participants to come to an agreement. Successful conflict management results in a mutually beneficial outcome that's agreed upon by each party. What in the white shit is this? Because, I can only imagine taking some shit like this into a barbershop, right? We're going to span off of this. I want you to go over it. But I'm going to talk about some conflicts that have popped up outside of my culture, where I'd be like, yo, fam, that shit only works like in the movies. But go ahead and go.
Right. This is kind of some movie work training shit. But it's like, if you really applied it to like maybe your relationship or something like that, like what type? This wasn't trying to say like to correct anybody on how they handle conflict. I was just more curious on like which one are you?
Okay,
You know what I mean?
run through them real quick.
So the 5 conflict styles. There's
This would be great because bro's so multifaceted too that we got you probably a different person in different realms. I would appear. I am
Probably.
like who I am on the pod is different from who I am at work from who I am when we turn the mics off. Right, so like how I go through conflict and shit like that, it's got to change. But let's see.
So the first one is competing. Competing occurs when you take a position that would satisfy your concerns, but not the other party. It's a win-lose model that can cause resistance in the other party.
So basically, I'm not compromising at that
Right.
point.
What I say goes. You don't like it, you can kick rocks.
I'm like that with my kids.
Well,
There's conflict among your kids. That's what I'm saying. You can't be like you can't.
no. There's probably different styles with different people.
Right.
But what they're saying is whether it's your kids or whether it's anybody else, that's not the way to go. Because it's a win-lose. We're trying to get to the win-win.
Here's why I don't agree with that. Right. We'll stop on each one for this reason. Right. I was in Target yesterday. Long story less long. You guessed it. White kid, white family, spazzing out on the floor. I hate you. Buy me candy. Had a nice tablet, same little blue cover like y'all had.
Don't do that.
Chuck that shit, right? Just right across. He on the floor pushing up on the mom. She's just looking at everyone this whole time. And I said, you know what?
She wasn't even talking through her teeth.
I would have beyond scared straight him. Hey, look, get your ass up off the fucking floor. Stop playing with me right now, right? I'm giving you that energy because the way you acting right now, you can't be doing that. It's my way or the highway. Hey, you wanna be up still when we get home and not be in your room all day? Do what I ask you to do. I have to win in that manner.
But that's different because
It's a conflict.
No, but it's in their best interest. You're like, yo, I'm not telling you this to be mean. I'm telling you this because it's what it is. What competing is like, I don't care about your best interest because this part is my best interest. That's all I care about.
I think
So it's a little different.
I think it depends on who your context is with because
Well,
you
yeah,
might
for
have
sure.
to set up your own personal boundaries depending on who it is or what it is. Does that make sense? Like I'm not willing
100%.
to compromise certain things with my clients, for example. Like, oh well, I want this and this and this and this and this, and I'm just like, this is what I'm doing. If you don't want to get on board with that, that's okay. That's up to you.
Man, you said 10%. Now we talking nah, I need 12.
Yeah.
What's another one? Let's hear it.
So next one is avoiding. Avoiding occurs when you try not to engage in a conflict with the other person. It's a lose-lose if you decide not to pursue either your or the other party's concerns.
I have a problem with that. That's a work thing. I avoid a lot of shit at work. Not for me. I avoid it for them.
Yep.
Because you don't want to unleash the beast, right? I can take it there if you want to or whatever, right? But I'll let passive aggressive comments go by all the time because I feel like that's probably the one space where people feel like they can get their shit off. I'll let you get this off. Like that's for the team. But if you keep compounding these things, then I'm gonna have to go ahead and let it ring off.
You don't think it's important to address when maybe people will overstep certain boundaries for you?
That's funny you said it in that same manner. Yeah. But you know what? I'll give you about 4 or 5 chances. But and I think like this recently happened at work. A dude fired off an email, and basically what he said was, "Well, if Carlise is taking this stance or whatever, we can still move forward without him. But you need me, right? Like what the type like who
Affirmative
sets up
action?
the meeting? Well, he was a kin, absolutely, right? But the shit he was talking about, I was like, bro, that's not even your job. Like that's our job, right? Why are you overstepping right now? And I told him in the message with like other people from my job and took our clients out of the message. And I said, look, bro, I said, the way you talking right now, that's not going to work for me. I was like, and I just pretty much put him in his place. He never responded back. I assumed he was going to tell his boss. So I just told my boss what happened. I'm okay with like avoiding things because for the sake of the greater good, because I know how I am.
Yeah.
If you know how you are as a person, for example, like Lex told me 5 months ago, like, hey man, when you start going off on your rhetoric on the pod, I'm just gonna blow past it. And I encourage that. Avoid it. I'm just shooting shit, right? I'm just gonna be saying shit on the slide no matter what. You gotta fight through it. That's just life. You know what I mean? What's up, man? What's up, brother? he got everybody in here.
I use the avoiding That's probably why
We're
me and
on
my
a-
mom are in the position we're in right
We're
now.
on a podcast.
Because we both avoided that situation.
Nah, you good. We'll be back out there.
Hey, let me use the restroom.
Yeah, go ahead. So you said you'd be avoiding the situation?
Yeah, I'm an avoider in a lot of situations, and it hasn't been great. It hasn't worked out great, so
Yeah, that is true,
this
'cause
makes sense. This is a lose-lose situation because I've lost.
I can
a
tell
lot.
that your wheels are turning because like I've isolated pockets of like what I do, but I'm not saying like your way of doing things. Is it peaceful to you though?
Short-term real peace and just short-term, because avoiding I think is just short-term peace.
Right.
I don't got to deal with the storm if I just sit here and if it brews, and I'll deal with it when it happens.
And that's what you said. Like,
But what happens is that storm becomes a fucking category 5 instead of a fucking category 2 if you would have just dealt with it right then.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same token, though, you talked about that same thing like when you was at the store earlier today, right? And so when you was at the store earlier today,
I did not use
or
the
yesterday, you tried to avoid it. You let bro have the spot, but he came back and doubled back inside, right? So you have a boiling point, but I think that there's a meter on where you have your point at and who it is and who
Well,
it's
yeah,
with.
it depends who it. All of this depends. Conflict styles are gonna.
Yes, but I want to know
depends on
who you
it
are
is.
in those instances, though, right? So yours is avoiding all the time, right? I'm avoiding at work only, right?
No, yeah, I know that.
And I'm competing with you only, probably, right? Like for real. Sometimes I don't even give a shit about winning. I just want to get under your skin because you pissed me off, right? that's the same thing.
Well, maybe that's more.
Let's go ahead. Get to the next one.
The next
hit
one is
number
something
3.
I am too. Is accommodating. Accommodating
ain't me.
occurs when you see when you seek or accept position that would meet the other person's concern at the expense of your own, often neglecting or sacrificing your own concerns in favor of the other party. My therapist would have a field day with this one.
Yeah, I couldn't do it though. I'm not that accommodating. Like
This is scientific term for you got it, big dog.
I do that if we're not going anywhere. read me one more. I want. That's 4 that we got so far.
No, that's 3.
That's 3. Go get to the 4th one real quick then.
The 4th one is compromising. Compromising occurs
That's me.
when you settle for a position that partially satisfies your concern and those of the other person, giving up something to gain some partial satisfaction. Compromising sounds like a good way to go.
It sounds like it's not a place that you get to all the time. Because based off of what you're saying, compromising means that you're getting your needs met too.
Partially.
Yes, but you not even getting
No,
that.
I'm an accommodator.
Yeah. I'm a compromiser. I have to win. I have to come out of a situation on top that makes sense to me. It's like making a deal, like in business. Like to me,
I was
like
just gonna say the same
it's like
exact
it's the
thing. I
same
gotta
thing. Like
compromise all the time.
I don't like the fact I can't live if I feel like we'll go back to the parking spot again. You not about to do some shit like that without me feeling like I'm gonna get my shit off at least. You can have this spot, but I'm gonna say what I need to say to you.
I think there's a negative connotation to compromise though sometimes, because compromising doesn't necessarily mean you lose. It means that you think about what's the real goal about whatever it is you're talking about. So like what?
A tie.
Yeah. Like what am I really trying to achieve from this? Am I trying to really? Let me give you an example. You're having an argument with your spouse or your child or whatever, and it's like is the point to win the argument, or is the point to have a better relationship with my partner, family, child, friend?
To win the argument.
Yeah.
But sometimes you can win, but not really
I'm not
be
gonna
winning.
win.
Yeah,
But I'm talking
like
about
you can win and be on the couch.
sometimes
You
you
But
like,
I'm talking about how I feel. Like I know I lost, but
Right.
in my mind, did I really lose?
That's how it is. That's the Nelly argument all over again.
No.
It is, bro. It's cool.
All right, man.
He knows. If I look, he said don't ask him about no rapper ever and in the last like 5 years or whatever. But if I ask him, yo, you remember Nelly and EI?
Absolutely.
Come on, man.
That does not make
This is the
your
demo.
argument
This is the
correct.
demo who you need to start asking. Though is what I'm saying.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is because
It
it shows
doesn't make
reach.
your
I'm
argument correct.
I'm within that demo. So it's like, bro,
Hey,
don't
you-
make no sense. Give me
you
the next
got it,
one. That's
big
cool.
dog.
Thank you. Avoiding.
Collaborating. Oh shit.
I like that. Read that one.
This is-
Off the word.
This
off
is the
word
one we're
alone.
supposed to be going for.
Yeah.
Collaborating occurs when you try to find a position that would fully satisfy your own and the other person's concern. It's a win-win that moves you toward an integrative solution.
Next to impossible though. Who the fuck is gauging that? Unless both of us can sit here and walk away and say, yo, I felt like we both can, like a business partner or something like that.
Well, because
Yes.
it starts on the compromise.
But in an argument phase or a conflict phase, I can't see where we're both winning, because I feel like compromising takes over in that sense. Like we're both giving up certain things
Right.
for the greater good.
So
So collaborative
compromise
is
is-
rare to me.
It's probably not as common as as compromising, but I think what they're saying here is you got to at least start there, because those last two are the only styles that have any type of win for you and the other person. So you start at the compromise, keep talking to see if you can collaborate to get both your needs met in a non-partial way.
But so Carl, where are we going? Carl's
That's
Carl's
whatever
argument-
you got, man. It's
Okay.
cool. Don't worry
No,
about it.
all right. So Carl's argument takes the idea that, hey, I have to reduce my needs or wants to make ends meet so that you and I can collaborate together. I have to reduce my desires, my own goals, right? What if you can collaborate to, maybe you have to put in a little bit more work, but you get what you want and he gets what he wants, whereas compromise means, well, we don't work that much, we'll just reduce what we want. We don't have to work that hard. Collaborate causes more work. To work with other people means you have to put in more
Right.
work. The more employees you have, the more you have to manage. The more you got, the more you have to maintain always. So collaborating does take more work, but in the end, everybody's happy.
Yeah, I'm not saying that like it doesn't exist, and I'm not saying that it can't happen. I'm saying it's rare.
Yeah.
I'm saying like collaboration where I think it's a win-win situation is if we're both doing something for free.
Because two people, because you have to deal with another person, right?
Yes.
The reason it's harder or more rare is because it's harder to get a scenario where two people are going to put in that extra work for the collaboration to work.
So
That's why you end up compromising.
You two are married, okay? So here's an interesting question for both of you guys. When you got married, did you collaborate or did you compromise?
You asked him, he compromised. You asked me, I compromised too, because she pretty much gave me like she gave me like a list of expectations, right? Like after, like, yo, the first one was, yo, we not gonna just keep doing this and we not in no relationship, right? That was the first one, right? Then the next one is like, yo, I ain't gonna be a baby mom's forever. All right, I agree with that, right? You know, and so for that, it was like, yo, I need to get a house.
Hey, the funny part is, like, if you would have said no, she would have been a baby mom's forever.
True.
You can't just go off and just say any old words.
But that's not the main focus in regards to that though, because because sometimes she's like, yo, the way you be having me sound, I be sounding fucked up. So let me make sure I get this
we
right.
ain't gonna be sitting here playing house.
No, well, but that's a real feeling for women.
It is. It's a real feeling. Yeah.
For women. Look, men will take whatever you can get. You know what I mean? That's just hey, look, if she said we didn't have to be married, cool. I would have saved 4% on my taxes. You know what I mean? Because we sure went to another bracket. I was like, yo, this is crazy. But I say all that to say, I'm okay with it in that effort. What I would say a collaborative would be like, you have your app and you have like someone else, and it's like, all right, well, we're not generating revenue. We're not trying to generate revenue. We care about getting the message out there for whatever we have. Let's collaborate and join forces together.
We do it all the time.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's probably more in a business realm, but in the conflict, like in the midst of a battle, right? If I'm having a conflict, that means that I'm already feeling like some wrong happened and some right has to happen. Same thing for you. If we're actively in a conflict, we've already be wrong. So we automatically are in a bid for compromise.
Okay.
That's my argument.
Does that mean that somebody else has to lose for you to win?
I'm okay with that.
No, I'm asking. Does that mean that in order for
You have to lose something, but not completely.
Okay. And is there
So you don't believe in collaboration then? Because you're
not
you're
in the
defining
not in the terms of conflict.
you're,
Hell no.
you're defining compromise.
Because if you use the word conflict, we are one or both of us feel wronged in some way.
But you imply that you guys are looking at it from one spectrum, meaning one point and the other have to be opposing viewpoints.
Somebody has to give up something, though.
But you're assuming that they have to be opposite viewpoints.
Absolutely.
But that's not always necessarily true.
But what is conflict then?
Conflict doesn't have to mean it's not the most
I need you to
polarizing
tell me
word
what
in
it
the
is.
world.
I need you. Conflict
It
means
could
that
be
we're
a
at
slight.
odds.
It can be a slight miscommunication. It could be something that you guys are kind of on the same page with, just a little different. It doesn't have to be opposite ends of the pole. That's
Right.
what he's saying.
Okay, I get it. Okay.
So
If
in
you say
those
it that
terms,
way,
you can
yes.
collaborate. We're like, oh yeah, okay, we both are still winning in this perspective.
I'm still sticking
It's
with
harder
Rare.
to collaborate if you guys are on the polar ends, because then it sounds like you're gonna have to compromise to kind of get to the middle.
Well, you were gonna pick up the kids. No, you were gonna pick up the kids. No,
That's
you were
the-
gonna pick up the
that-
kids.
that's- And this conflict style is exactly why America's so inefficient with their political system,
Why?
because we only have two parties, and they like to do bullshit on the
People will
extreme
say that
ends.
we have more, but I want to just let you
No,
know, if
we
you
have
claim
two
independent
parties.
and all that other shit, you're not getting all the voting measures if you
No.
do that.
We have two parties,
Yeah.
and this is why we're inefficient.
Well, here's the thing. Just in general, I mean, this is going to be a little slightly controversial, but democracy, the way it's built, is completely conflicted because in Europe, most countries have at least 3 parties, if not 4, but they're probably just as inefficient. Why? Because everybody's looking out for their own. Always. So most times
It's hard to collaborate because it's hard enough when we're talking about 2 people, right? When you're talking about millions of people,
exactly.
you're not gonna get a collaboration. It's just not gonna happen.
You're over there trying to feed the
It's
majority.
a lose-lose situation from jump. You're gonna have to at least at minimum compromise.
Well, because there's limited resources, so there's a limited number of what you can do
Yeah.
with how much you can do with it. With
Absolutely, which is why you have all the bullshit that's happened in our society over the hundreds and thousands of years. So it is what it is. All right, man, hit my hand clap. That was a deep dive I didn't think we was going to get. Good job, Lex.
Could have swore you were talking about facts.
Was I? Did I never get through that?
I don't know.
Nah, I didn't get to the fun facts. Fun facts.
no.
The impulse to ejaculate comes from the spinal cord. No brain is needed.
Damn, my spinal cord must be fucked up. I know I've been sleeping wrong.
Tempur-Pedic?
Ain't that like a fluid? Spinal cord. I need an
He
injection.
said it's not a fluid.
Your spinal cord.
I'm sure it has a casing. You know, it's a fluid. There's a cord, and then
Yeah, I know, but
then there's spinal fluid, right?
Yeah,
So-
man. One of them.
That's why you've been going to your chiropractor as much, huh?
I ain't been. I
Oh,
only got 2 visits left for the year.
built up.
Fucking sharp.
Man, it's built up.
A couple weeks of that shit going.
You need to stretch.
Let's talk about some women's advocacy.
That too.
Women couldn't apply for a credit at the bank until 1974.
Yeah, I remember
Did you
that.
just snap your fingers?
Snap my finger. Damn. No. There's been a couple incidents where I'm like, hey, why you let her do that, yo? Why you let her do that, yo?
Oh, man, I thought that was crazy, though. Look, that's probably why the divorce rate is high.
Look,
I
man.
want to see what year it started. If it started around 1970, man, and look, Dottie was out. You know what, though? Department stores.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
Shop till you drop.
Yep. You take your husband's money or whatever, or you fill out the application or whatever money he make or whatever, and Dottie is going to Mervin's every Monday. They go hang out with the girls and eat
Montgomery
lunch.
Ward.
I'm lucky. I don't have this problem in my household.
What do you mean?
My woman is pretty like she doesn't need a whole lot to be good and happy. She doesn't need fashion clothes. or
Something
anything
tells
like
me that you wouldn't have it the other way, though.
I couldn't be. I'll be honest. I couldn't be with someone who's
High maintenance.
more importantly doesn't have self-esteem to think that, hey, I have to buy incredibly high expensive things in order to feel satisfied, because I get by with less. I get by with a lot less. I'm a minimalist, and I don't like my house with a bunch of extra stuff.
That's
in it.
how I feel, because this shit got too much shit in here.
I can't do it. I can't do it. It's just it's almost a little bit claustrophobic, because I'm a Taoist by trade, like by study, and to understand Tao basically just says is you look at it from a viewpoint of just non-existence, right? And what good is having a house if it's full of stuff? Because you can't move around in the house. You can't use the space that you have in your house because you filled it with 10,000 boxes of 10,000 things that you can't ever use.
Absolutely. I agree with you. But I also feel like my mom and dad live like that, and I just can't live like that. I don't like a bunch of shit.
Nah, I mean,
Plus, I moved a lot.
I think sometimes you either do exactly what you saw your parents do or the exact opposite.
You're
So if
the
you come
exact
from the pack
opposite.
rat, you might end up a minimalist.
That wasn't a pack
That
rat.
was my mom.
I know. Yeah, I did. By the time I got here, it was just him over there.
Yeah,
So,
no, my mom is I love my mom, but she loves to hold on to things forever.
I think it's a generational thing too, though.
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe she thought she would, fit back into the dresses when she was 20, and she still keeps them. She keeps the shoes.
Oh, for real?
Yeah,
Oh,
they got
yeah.
them stored in my grandma's house and in my mom's house, and it's like, Don't get me wrong, some of it's kind of cool to look at, but to be honest, some of that stuff should be in a museum.
Like she told me yesterday, she was like, "Yo, I got some China in there." I'm like, "I don't worry about no China. She's like, worth a lot of money." I said, "You think that?"
No, it's probably worth a lot of money. It's probably worth a lot of money.
I don't know.
I don't think any.
She gonna take insurance policy out on the
I don't
China.
think anybody in our generation uses the term.
I know it's the thing.
We don't even say China no more.
So kind of a cool story on that. I just actually saw it.
It's 200 years old.
Yeah, that's probably worth a lot of money. I don't
That's
know why
crazy.
you're carrying it like that. In fact, put it in the case.
You got that shit out in the open?
I don't know anymore because
You better keep it off camera. You better stay right. Yeah,
200 years old.
Crown and everything.
Yeah?
These were my great grandmothers.
I was just at my father's railroad museum. He helped co-found, and they had an entire section
Would you like
dedicated to China, like railroad China, and China, for context for you people, is
Let me find out she holding on to that shit worth 500,000.
for people who can't see
The
it.
question, look,
basically
you
it's-
hear him?
Hey.
He's selling a heartbeat. That should be packaged up tomorrow.
It's worth value. It's worth value.
I'm not against that, right? I'm just saying that
Shit, it's
sometimes
a
people,
balloon.
if you get one of those things, those items, right, then it becomes like, like I can collect more of these things. At some point, you can only collect so much shit if you have so much storage for it.
That's the thing. You have to maintain the more
Right,
you keep.
that's a little technical difficulty. But anyway, what I was saying was the more shit you keep or whatever, the more you have to keep in storage. And you were going off to say,
The more that you have, the more you have to maintain.
and you have to ask yourself this question. Like, remember, I showed you a photo or a video like maybe 2 weeks ago about a financial show that was on Netflix, and it was about couples and shit like that, and like for them to get rich. You got to check it out. But one
Is
of
it
the,
called "We Want You to Be Rich"? Whatever.
it's like
By what's his name?
it's like a. I don't even want to jack up.
Yeah,
anything.
no, I watched it.
It's
I
about
watched
the
it.
couples, right?
I watched it a couple months ago. Yeah.
About the dude that was day trading and shit like that, and then he lost like 10K or whatever. Yeah. So like in that instance, the black family that was on there, that dude like collecting shoes and shit like that and put it in storage. But bro was like, yo, the more money you keep spending every month on
caught him on the
storage,
porch.
you're going over the bottom line of
Yep.
like how much it is to house all these things,
Yep.
or certain individual freedoms that you would have within your house because you're keeping up that space. Like a lot of that thinking process is what I be on though.
Yeah,
But,
I'm not too big into stuff.
Yeah, it's not my thing.
I mean, everybody has a thing, right? Some people like clothes, some people like cars, some people like shoes. But
Some people like saving money too. That's the thing.
that's the thing too. But you still lose money when you're saving money too.
That's true. I try to tell people.
It's called.
Let's talk about it.
Devaluing your coin.
By just doing nothing.
So let me put it to you this way: the dollar's gone down about 8 or 10% in the last 3 months compared to the euro. So every dollar I made here, I got 90 cents on the dollar.
That's crazy.
It sucks.
They taking advantage of my man. A group of porcupines is called a prickle. Thought that was interesting. Haven't seen one. Oh, when the last time you saw a pigeon?
Pigeon.
Yeah, I'm gonna get all. There's a reason why I say that.
I mean,
I was in a low socioeconomic neighborhood the other day that was lower than this one, but I ain't seen a pigeon. Here is like Crow City,
yeah.
but I saw some pigeons. And I was like, damn. They would be on this side of town, but why aren't they? I haven't seen them anywhere. I'm not gonna say the neighborhood out on the bike. I would disrespect anyone's living, but it was crazy. They were just like 20 of them. I was like, I ain't seen 20 pigeons since I was in Hawaii, and I saw the white pigeon for the first time in Hawaii. That threw me off a little bit. But yeah,
I mean, I
Come
feel
to
like
Barcelona, man.
there's a bunch of pigeons.
Pigeons are like, we
It
call
has
them
nothing
flying
to do with
rats.
social status. Then I imagine Barcelona is like a beautiful place and shit.
Yeah, no, it has nothing to do with that.
Yeah, just
They're just pigeon central.
he wants it to be for the.
I
sake
don't
of
want it
his
to be.
story.
I don't want to bring down that. Look, I'll tell you where it is off mic. I don't want that to be the case. I want that place to thrive and flourish. Having a catchy song in your head is called an earworm.
Oh, wow.
Did you know that? You don't really listen to catchy music though. That's not your thing. You like introspective, deep music.
I was just at. Never mind.
He's having
We
deep
didn't
thoughts
even
right
talk
now.
about the 50 show.
I know he was preoccupied with everything else. And I'm gonna leave the last one off. Let's go to shows to watch, and then we out of here. Call it a day. You haven't probably been watching that much TV, huh?
I don't watch almost any TV.
That's actually amazing.
I gotta be up. Sometimes I'm up till 2 in the morning working from Spain.
I don't even want to do this segment no more.
He hate feeling like somebody doing better than
It's
him.
like, when I first watched The Social Network, I was like, what the fuck am I doing in my life? I was like 18. I'm not doing enough.
Let's be honest though, it's a lot of work. It's not necessarily as much as money as you think it is, but it's a lot of work, and pays off in the end, hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the goal that we look for. I got something interesting. Did I talk about the De La Hoya doc on here?
I don't think so.
Okay, so I watched the De La Hoya doc on I want to say it was Showtime or something like that. And for Oscar De La Hoya, boxer, right? American born. I didn't know because I was young at that time. Really, I was outside. But anybody tell you that anything different that's in my age bracket, they're lying to you. I didn't know that bro had that much trouble going on in his life. So his mom passed away.
Oh yeah, because you brought it up and you didn't remember the picture. You thought the pictures were fake. Was that you?
Yeah.
This is a real thing.
Yeah, I didn't know that was like cross dressing and all that was kind of wild. But when he came out and said, because he had told the president, the world, and everything when he got into the Olympics and whatnot, hey, my mom told me her dire wish was for me to be an Olympic champion. Then he tells you probably towards the middle of part 2, all this is bullshit. He's like, I wasn't even there when my mom passed away. My brother was there, and I was just on my way to the hospital. He was like, so my whole premise of being the golden boy and the chosen one and all that was based off of a lie.
Made it up.
Yeah, got into drugs and shit, but that's what he needed to probably be successful.
To be fair, that manifestation, fake it till you make it. It's not a bad thing in certain contexts.
You believe your own stories. Whatever you tell yourself, you believe.
Yeah, I'm a piece of shit.
No, man. Look, a lot of high performing athletes and probably other sections, like other industries, is they basically tell themselves something. I am a fashionista. For example, a lot of the people who are in fashion or in design or in whatever, a lot of times they tell themselves this, and so they start to draw their own conclusions.
There ain't no way James Harden walks through that tunnel looking like that without him being like, you know what? I'm him.
Fire. Exactly. Russell Westbrook.
I don't know if he feels that way anymore about himself, though.
Russell Westbrook.
He does. Wait, in China anyway.
And don't get me started on what these rappers wear these days. I'm not even gonna go there.
They're gonna keep bro too. The Sixers, they're gonna end up doing a lot of this fake shopping. They could have made the deal a long time ago. Just saying.
It's September. I ain't worried about it.
All right. October is literally next month. That's when the season starts.
It just started. I'm just trying to get to football, man.
We're here. It'll be here Thursday. They show football games in Spain.
Nah, not really.
But you've never been an NFL guy. You're a college guy. Do they show? They don't show a lot of college games either, though. Huh?
Here's the thing. So you remember it's a 6-hour time difference from at the very earliest, which is Spain, which is Central European time. The very earliest is 6-hour time difference. So if you're kicking off, they might show a Sunday night game. I'm sorry, a Sunday morning game.
Yeah.
Which would kick off around 7 o'clock their time.
At night.
So that's the earliest. You might get that, but you've got enough sports going on over in Europe that you don't see here. So for example, you got basketball, you've got obviously soccer, you have Formula One racing, which is actually even bigger than NASCAR. You have Formula One racing. They have several other sports that are really important for funny enough, karting, believe it or not.
What?
Karting is a real thing.
Like what I do at Costco?
Karting
What I
is,
do at Costco.
yeah. No, karting is remember the old school go-karts?
Yeah.
So they do that as Formula 1, Formula 2, Formula 3.
Oh, Little Rascals.
He said
Little Rascals, exactly. The
he
softball
wasn't
carts.
outside.
Yeah, so they got karting. They have tennis is a huge sport in Europe. Tennis is highly
I believe
watched.
that. Golf
Tennis,
is too.
Golf
is
so
actually really
you've got
big,
tons of sports that people
basically
have
he
to
keep
watch.
telling us that the world is bigger than what we know it. It's a fact though.
I agree with everything he said outside of
Formula One is kind of
basketball.
Formula One is kind of fire. So this dude that I play with, his little brother moved to Vegas for to work for a Formula One team and eventually, but he said to be a driver it's a tough life. You got to have the financials to be able to do it.
Expensive.
But he has a simulator that he built just to get the experience because he's it's hard to get into a vehicle, but I could spend $7,000, $10,000 on the simulator or whatever and get the same experience because that's how good they are.
You have your golf simulator, don't you?
Yeah, I got that too. Yeah, I mean, but the shit that he got in comparison to what I have is to me, I feel like It's completely different. I'm talking about like monitors that fit the screen of like being
that's
in the
pretty
actual
cool.
vehicle. You know, having the pedal, the actual seat, and the gears and everything. Like that shit was crazy.
That's pretty cool.
We
Yeah,
got that
so-
shit at Dave and Buster's.
Nah, not this one, baby. This is one of the ones that he got to get parts from overseas and shit like that to fit the program.
I'm pretty sure the Dave and Buster's video game has parts from overseas.
Uh,
I'm almost sure of it.
what you watching right now, Lex?
I'm actually gonna give like a retro shout out. I don't want to shout out because I was upset for at least 7 years out of the 10. I finally finished Walking Dead.
Oh wow.
So
It's like six.
no,
seasons,
it
right?
wasn't that I
7 seasons,
binged it. No, it's like
Well,
14 or some
Jesus
shit.
Christ.
It's been on since 2010.
Who are there any original characters from season 1 still there?
Yes.
Or they're all like secondary but not main characters?
There's like 2 original people or whatever.
Oh, okay, that's actually a pretty good number.
No, there's probably like maybe like 3.
That's still a good number.
But I'm only saying this because I finally put it. I feel like an end of a chapter of my life because I watched it. I've hated it since season 3. Since like over 10 years, I've hated this show. But I was like, I gotta. I was like, oh, and they start doing spinoffs, and I'm like, no. And then the thing is, we had the finale in the queue for like 8 months. Like for some reason we stopped, and we just never watched the finale. And I was like, yo, we got to.
I did that with Lost.
Yeah. So we finally finished it, and it was, just as bullshit as I thought it was going to be. But I felt great when it ended. I was like, whew. It felt like something, just, you know what I mean?
Only spinoff that I like was Better Call Saul.
I knew that was because I didn't watch neither one of them, Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul.
Man, Better Call Saul, it was taken care of appropriately. The writing was like they took just as much time with it.
I only had so much time at that time. That was like in the heart of me being in college too. Now that I think about it, so I was like, I only had so much time.
Better Call Saul?
No, like Breaking Bad and all that. So I never got onto the wave because you add Breaking Bad, it was just 5 seasons. Of Better Call Saul was what, 2,
3.
No.
3?
Better Call Saul's at like 6.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Like
so you didn't finish.
I watched it too fast.
He
I
wasn't
guess.
lying. He told you he didn't watch TV.
I watched it too
That's
fast.
11 seasons of some shit that
That's
I'm
why I
not
don't
gonna
like
ever get
binging.
to. Yeah, I'm
She's
not
like
gonna
too
get to
sleep.
that because I'll never go to sleep. I started watching some bullshit ass show on Netflix yesterday.
Or
And
you
the
can
only reason,
stretch it out.
nah,
You don't have to finish
90
right
Day
then and
Fiance
there.
comes with content
I
every
understand.
week, dog.
You're right.
They running 2 seasons right now
I
where
mean,
I'm interested
fucking
in
hate
both.
it.
Like
because
that's
the
like
one they're doing before,
the
right?
last resort. Nah,
They're doing before the 90 days right
as soon
now.
as Angela come on TV with
Because
Michael,
I just started
gotta
the
see
first
what's
season
going
of
on.
before.
Yeah, see. I don't even know which one's is which. The timeline
I
in the
know.
Marvel universe is off right now. I don't get
crazy.
it. All right, look, this is the last thing I want to get off. Then we'll get to 3 cheers. I said we was gonna be done. I'm gonna say a statement, and I want to get somebody's take on it. Right. In the aftermath of extreme weather events, major insurers are increasingly no longer offering coverage that homeowners in areas vulnerable to those disasters need most. At least 5 U.S. property insurers, including Allstate, American Family, Nationwide, Erie Insurance, Berkshire Hathaway, have told regulators that extreme weather patterns caused by climate change have led to them to stop writing coverages in some regions, excluding protections from various weather events and raise monthly premiums and deductibles. I'm going to sit the fuck back.
I was thinking about this shit in the shower yesterday. That's how much it was on my mind.
It's been on my mind for a while now.
So this happens in like economical cycles where certain insurers might leave the state for a while, but they'll come back. The weather pattern is different because that's probably not going away. But yeah, if you got these big companies where like, yo, you got bread and you still decide not to cover, like, I would say that's a telltale sign of it's about to get, like, I say it every other show, like, it's about to get rough out here in one context or another. Like, climate change affects just about everything if you really think about it. You can bring up anything that's happening. I can probably relate some sort of climate issue towards at least partially affecting it, a price change or something like that. So as Mr. Insurance Man, are you seeing things like this as far as like, it's like, man, it's kind of hard to find a home for you, because you're a broker, so you deal with multiple companies.
Right.
Are you seeing like maybe your normal go-tos are being a little different, or they're changing, and is it like upending?
So, I guess there's two parts to this this question or this answer. So, on one end, if you talk about, the global changing factors and along those lines, for one part of it, as Captain America, what is it, Captain Planet Earth? What do they call you, Captain?
What do they call me?
Mr.
Earthman?
Earthman.
He's gonna call you Captain America.
I was like,
hell no.
He got an Iron Man shirt on right now.
That's the weakest Avenger.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, he's like, he got
I was thinking Captain Planet. No, Earthman.
Earth.
Hey.
Water. He wasn't out.
Just don't call me Hart.
Nah, for sure. Like, you can see that it's obviously going to be a big thing. I mean, they supposedly, I guess I wasn't here obviously, but they were going to have a hurricane in San Diego. I don't know the last time they had a hurricane in San Diego, but
They didn't.
yeah,
that we know.
That's my point. So for a home insurer, if I'm Allstate, I'm like, all right, you guys have the fires, you guys have the earthquakes, we write this shit all day. Oh, you're telling me now that this is now eventually become a hurricane thing? It's already too expensive to be in California. I don't even want to deal with it. I'm gonna go fuck with over here. I'm gonna just leave the state.
but I guess there's a back end to that, which is, so if you have to have fire insurance, what options do you have, right?
Because you have to.
And you're asking someone, I'm just putting it out there how it is, you're asking someone to indemnify you, which means asking you to fix my house if the worst thing possible happened. So for them, it's, what do the houses of California cost now? They're like 600.
I'm looking at it like
700,000.
something is more and more and more likely to happen.
Yes.
So no,
Yeah.
I'm just not going to do it.
But if I'm a bank, I'm gonna want you to get it.
No, of course. And how the free market works is, as more and more people are leaving, the pool becomes smaller to choose from. Now they're like, well, I'm still around. I can charge whatever the fuck I want to.
Yep.
And they're just going to let supply and demand take place to where you're only going to have people that can live in La Jolla live here because they're the only ones that can pay for the insurance, let alone the fucking mortgage.
I was just going to say, isn't that happening already for mortgage?
Yeah.
Some dude told me that to get his car insured, he had to pay the whole premium up front.
That's really common now. You have to. A lot of companies don't want to take on the additional risk.
Yeah.
And they're basically saying, hey, you want me to cover you for $100,000 or $200,000? Well, fork out $1,000 to make sure that you pay your premiums. That's not. I don't know that. I have no comments for whether that's fair or not, because I mean, these are
I say they need to get in the cahoots with the banks and just roll it into the loan then, so that the hit isn't as.
Well, they do that now. They do that with your homeowners insurance. You can put that into your escrow account.
Right, but I'm saying instead of saying that it's up front though, right? Like why not just make the
because eventually you're going to pay your car off,
yes.
But that insurance is never going to go away.
Correct. And not to mention the bank doesn't want anything to do with your insurance.
So how do we fix this then? I imagine the federal government is going to be a hot button issue coming up in the elections and shit like that. How do you address it?
It's not even a
federal thing.
Why not?
It's not a federal
insurance
thing.
For people to buy look, the part of the American dream that they sell to people, right, and brainwashing them is home ownership.
Yes.
So that is going to be something that's going to be brought up once they get to the primaries and stuff.
They're
like
going to call. They might roll it into an economic talk because they're always going to talk about the economy. Right. They're not going to specify. No, it's not. I wouldn't call it a hot.
If enough people I'm telling you, man, if enough people bring this up, because now it's not just houses, right?
They're not talking about.
It's insurance on need. Matter of fact, you told me the other day.
But they're only going to talk about it in context of we need higher paying jobs. They're not going to say insurance is too high.
I don't know, because this is what bro told me the other day. He said, look, man. He said, if you get in an accident or something, if it's less than 2 racks, spend the cash on it by yourself, right? Because it's not worth going through the process. They may raise your shit up or something like that. And if that affects enough people, there's a lot of people that own cars. There's not a lot of people that own houses. So if that is the case for the common American to have to pay up front on vehicles and shit like that and skipping out on certain things that they would, essentially get fixed and use their deductible for, I feel like that's going to be something that they're going to bring up.
You're also assuming the government cares about the common American.
But you guys are talking about it as a federal thing, and it's not a federal thing. It's a state thing. So the insurance commissioner of
anything that's left to the state,
elected.
They ain't worried about that right now.
So we just fucked. Because the question is, why didn't they just do it 20 years ago then?
They've been doing it, though. Yeah. Earthquake insurance hasn't been available for 30 years after L.A. They banned that a long time ago. Landslide.
Also, now it's just fire.
Well, so here's the thing. So earthquake insurance has been 30 years. It's been through the California Earthquake Authority. Landslide and flood damage has been through the National Flood Insurance Program for about 25 or 30 years.
So what you're saying is they're asking to get a fire committee like started.
They already have a fire committee started.
It's just shit.
I actually operate using the California Fair Plan. I'm one of the registered brokers for the California Fair Plan, which gets people who have high fire risk policies, like people out in Alpine or in Rancho San Diego, where you have a high fire risk. I mean, even down in Spring Valley now, it's like a high fire risk. So I work with the National California Fair Plan, and that's how people are now getting fire insurance. But these are government subsidized or government managed private entities. So there's always an option. It's not like you're going to be stuck without insurance, or it's very rarely that will happen.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it becomes more and more. You're probably going to see government subsidized or government managed insurance policies or offers.
It has to be.
Chitty, bang, bang.
Which I don't know that per se is going to be better as far as quality of service, because anything the
not
government
at all.
I don't think
Because
it's gonna be
like
great,
what we
but-
said at the top of the show, the government is highly inefficient in most of the things
in
it
any
does.
in any country, because there's no incentive to do it better.
Shit, there ain't no regulation on E. coli right now. Swear to God, watch that whole doc, bro. You got there's different organizations that do different shit, and they're not on the same collaborative effort. We use the word collaborative again.
Hey,
There we go.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
We done with insurance?
You tell me. I've been
I'm
done
good.
with insurance, man. I'm sick of insurance.
3 cheers, man. Let's get the fuck out of here, then. Let's go. I forgot to get this one off last week. I ended hella abruptly. Like we had been here equal amount of time now that I look down. But yo, rest in peace, Bob Barker, dog. Bob Barker, man, he solidified sick days for me, right? And so with that being said, bro, I remember going, it's nostalgia in that piece too, because going to my great grandmother's house, that's all she would watch is Price is Right, which I believe now it's done by Wayne Brady, isn't it?
No. What's my man's name?
She would know.
What's my yeah.
Drew
Carey.
Drew Carey. Damn, that was a hell of a transition for him.
But it's been he's been doing it for 10 years.
No, I
right?
know for a long. That's what I'm saying. But I remember him as a comedian, having his own show and shit like that. Now he's a household family guy like Steve Harvey.
Hey.
So
Side joke on this, maybe a little too soon, but somebody posted on Reddit, Bob Barker is the GOAT.
He got closest
died
to
at 99.
Yeah.
Closest to without going to $1.
That was the one
That's my guy.
the joke that made it through.
that one's okay. Yeah, you can live with that one. That was all right.
Hey, when it's fire, it's fire.
Anything to celebrate for you? Anything you want to give a shout out to or anything like that?
Yeah, you know what? Let me give a shout out to all the people that I know that have tried or have been starting up their own startups or their own programs. I got a lot of people that I know. Our boy, Nigel has got his Just Be Dope line.
Oh, that's right.
And
Yeah,
he's got his thing going on. Mr. Mayo's kind of setting up his own
that's your
basketball
guy.
organization. He's got his own ABA team. All of my people out here that have been trying to make it work and setting up their own dreams without quitting on it. And you don't make any shots you don't take. So at the very least, I'm proud of them for
Trying
going
to get
out.
all Wayne Gretzky on us.
Hey, I'm proud of them for doing it. Obviously, that comes as as a business owner myself. But just shout out to all the people that I know that have been working their butt off to try to make that work.
That's real. You?
Shit, I feel I'm about to go start some shit up when I
You've already got a business,
feel
man.
like I'm back now.
So hard on yourself. That white guilt, you gotta let that
That's
shit
true.
go.
Your wife got a business too.
No,
But she had one.
Had one.
had one. Yeah.
She can go back at any point in time. She know how to do it. Learn the reins.
Let me just put this on.